Have you ever watched your best friend flirt with your fiancé right in front of you? It sounds like something out of a trashy reality show, right? But trust me, this wasn't scripted. This was my life. My name is Lena, I'm 28, and a few months ago, I thought I had it all. A fiancé who adored me, a best friend I'd had since high school, and a wedding coming up that felt like the perfect start to our forever. Before we continue, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for updates. But then, things started to shift. My best friend Sophie, the one who used to cry with me over dumb boys and plan our fantasy double weddings, suddenly couldn't stop talking about my fiancé. Compliments that felt like daggers. Jokes that weren't really jokes. And Matt? He didn't seem to notice, or maybe he didn't want to. I started to feel like the third wheel in my own relationship. But I didn't say anything. Not yet. I watched. I listened. And when the moment came, I struck. Not with tears, not with screaming, with proof. With strategy. With perfect timing. Because Sophie said something she thought I'd never hear. She whispered it to him at the party, the night that was supposed to be for us. She told him, "You deserve me, not her." And what I did next? Let's just say, Sophie doesn't show her face around here anymore. Do you know what betrayal really looks like? It doesn't always come loud. Sometimes, it comes wrapped in fake laughter and compliments that leave a strange aftertaste. Sophie had always been a little extra. The type who needed attention like oxygen. And I used to think it was just her personality. But the moment I got engaged to Matt, something changed. She didn't congratulate me like a best friend should. She analyzed the ring. She didn't ask how he proposed, she asked if I was sure. At first, I laughed it off. Then came the comments. Innocent on the surface, venom underneath. Matt's so funny. I've never had a guy friend I clicked with like him. Or the time she said, right in front of us, if Matt ever gets tired of you, I'm available. She laughed. Matt laughed. I didn't. And somehow, I still kept telling myself I was overthinking it. She was just joking. I was being insecure. Gaslighting yourself is easier than facing the truth, right? But the day she took over planning the engagement party, my party, was the day I started paying closer attention. She told me she'd handle the guest list. A few days later, I found out 2 of my closest friends didn't get invites. Guess who did get invited? Matt's single female coworker Sophie had met once. She's fun, Sophie said. Sure. I didn't say anything. I smiled. But that night, when Sophie poured herself a glass of wine and stood just a little too close to Matt, I started recording. Because what came next would change everything, and no one saw it coming. What would you do if your best friend told your fiancé she was a better match for him while you were still in the house? That night, the house was glowing with string lights, soft music, and the sound of clinking glasses. Our engagement party. My big night. But somehow, it felt like Sophie's stage. She made the speech. She picked the playlist. She hovered near Matt like they were co-hosting. I stepped into the kitchen to grab more champagne, but halfway back I froze. I heard her voice, low, deliberate, coming from the patio just outside the sliding door. Matt, be honest. Don't you feel like you settled? My chest went cold. Then came the real hit, she's safe. I get it. But you deserve someone who makes you feel alive. Someone who gets you. That's not her, it's me. I couldn't breathe. And Matt? He didn't shut it down. He didn't push her away. He just stood there. Silent. So I did what any woman with a gut full of fire would do. I pulled out my phone, pressed record, and caught every single word. The patio lights shimmered through the glass as I watched Sophie try to rewrite my life. But I didn't walk out there. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I walked back in like I heard nothing. Because the truth? I already knew how this story was going to end. I just needed the perfect time to drop the bomb. And that moment was coming sooner than they thought. Ever served revenge cold, with hors d'oeuvres and champagne? The days after the party were quiet. Too quiet. Sophie texted me like nothing happened. Matt acted normal. Which somehow made it worse. Did he think I didn't hear? Did he assume I'd never find out? But I knew. And now, I had proof. I didn't confront either of them. I got creative instead. I went through Sophie's old messages. She had been texting Matt behind my back for weeks, flirty little bombs dressed up as jokes. One of them literally said, "If you ever change your mind, you know where I live, winking face dot." Cute, right? So I compiled everything. The voice recording, screenshots of the texts, the date stamp, all of it. Then I opened iMovie. I made a tribute video for the engagement party, or rather, for Sophie. I titled it "A Toast to the Maid of Honor." A sweet intro with a few fake sentimental clips. People laughing. Us hugging. Then, the shift. The video cut to her telling Matt he deserved better. Her texts. Her voice as clear as day, "You deserve me." The room was packed. Everyone had a drink. Everyone was watching. I stepped up and said, "Sophie's worked so hard for this party. I wanted to thank her the best way I know how." Play. Dead silence. Sophie turned pale. Then red. Then white again. And Matt? He just stared at her like he was seeing her for the first time. But the most satisfying part? She didn't scream. She didn't argue. She ran. And in her rush to leave, she dropped something that made this story so much worse. You ever think it's over, and then find out it's so much deeper? After the room exploded, gasps, awkward shuffling, someone actually dropped their drink. Sophie disappeared. Literally ran out the door. Everyone was too stunned to follow her. But a few minutes later, someone handed me her purse. "She left this," they said, like it was a balm. And honestly, it kind of was. I didn't mean to go through it. Not at first. But then I saw the envelope. It was cream-colored, thick-sealed. Handwritten, Matt. No last name. No postage. Just his name. I opened it. Inside was a letter, dated 2 weeks before the party. It was desperate, rambling, romantic. "If you ever change your mind, meet me at the lake cabin. I'll wait. No questions. I love you." I felt sick. Matt never mentioned it. Never responded. But clearly, he kept it. And now it was in my hands. Did he hide it? Did he forget it was in her bag? Did he ever think about showing up? That letter changed everything. Because maybe Sophie wasn't the only one playing games. Maybe I was planning revenge on the wrong person. And, just like that, the line between victim and fool got real blurry. So, what do you do when the friend you trusted betrays you, and the man you loved might have let her? Sophie never came back for the purse. Never called. Never explained. She vanished from my life like a stain scrubbed clean. But Matt? That was harder. I showed him the letter. Watched his face carefully. He swore he never read it, that he didn't even know it was in her bag. He looked shocked, ashamed, but not surprised. That was the part that broke me. We didn't break up. But we didn't get married either. We postponed the wedding. For clarity. Truth is, I'm still figuring out what I want. But I don't regret what I did. Not for a second. Because people like Sophie don't stop, unless you stop them. She played dirty. I just hit back smarter. And if you're wondering what the takeaway here is, it's simple. Watch the people who call you sister. Who hug you too long. Who laugh too hard at your partner's jokes. Not all snakes hiss. Some of them smile. So, what would you have done? Would you have called her out in private or played it live? Let me know in the comments. And if you've ever been betrayed like this, trust me, you're not alone.